Members of Parliament from Samajwadi Party, Surendra Nagar and Sanjay Seth joined BJP. Sanjay Seth says a government's decision on Article 370 inspired him to join. Surendra Nagar affirms faith in Prime Minister's vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh to become union territories on the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on 31st October. Government issues notification in tribute to the Iron Man of India. In a major success in Tripura, Union Home Ministry and Tripura State Government sign Memorandum of Settlement with National Liberation Front of Tripura. Agreement comes after 5 years of negotiations. Situation remains calm and peaceful in Jammu and Kashmir. Prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the CRPC withdrawn from Jammu district. Schools reopen in Doda and Kathua among other places as normalcy resumes. Congress Working Committee meeting begins in New Delhi. Parties top a body to deliberate on the next Congress president amidst leadership crisis. Russia supports India on Jammu and Kashmir, says a change in the state's status and its bifurcation is within the framework of the Indian Constitution. More than 250 rescue and relief teams deployed as flood situation remains grim in Kerala, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Over 82,000 persons moved to safety. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to visit Karnataka to review the situation. Union Home Ministry maintains close watch over relief operations. Hello and welcome. You're watching Midday News with me, Manmohan Bhattacharya. Let's get started with our top story. President Ram Nath Kovind has given his assent to the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Bill 2019. Union Home Ministry has said that the two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, will come into existence on the 31st of October, the birth anniversary of the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. According to the legislation, the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir will have a legislature like Puducherry, and Ladakh will be a union territory like Chandigarh without legislature. In both the union territories, key subjects such as law and order will be with the centre. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir will have a Lieutenant Governor, and the maximum strength of its assembly will be of 107, which will be enhanced to 114 after a delimitation exercise. 24 seats of the assembly will continue to remain vacant as they fall under Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The Union Territory of Ladakh will have Kargil and Leh districts. The Act said Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory will have reservation in the assembly seats. The Lieutenant Governor of the successor Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir will nominate two members to the Legislative Assembly to give representation to women if, in the Lieutenant Governor's opinion, women are not adequately represented in the Legislative Assembly. Meanwhile, the situation is calm across Jammu and Kashmir after being confined to their homes for days. People in Kashmir offered Friday prayers in local mosques as restrictions were eased for the purpose. The valley was largely peaceful as restrictions were eased. People who have been virtually indoors because of heavy security deployment visited mosques in their localities and offered Friday prayers. With no untoward incident, the situation was reported to be fine in Srinagar city and South Kashmir. Situation across Jammu region has also returned to normalcy as the restrictions have been eased in Jammu, Kathua and Samba districts with the opening of educational institutions. Shops, schools and academic institutions, both private and government, are open in Samba, Kathua and Udhampur districts. The administration in various districts are making security arrangements in connection with Eid to ensure the return of normalcy. Jammu and Kashmir Governor Satyapal Malik on Friday visited various hospitals and areas in Srinagar to take stock of the situation. The governor visited LD Women's Hospital and GB Pant Children Hospital in Srinagar and interacted with doctors, patients and parents of children. He took feedback about the medical treatment being provided to patients. The governor expressed satisfaction with the functioning of hospitals while adding that sufficient stock of medicines and all possible healthcare services were available to patients. The J&K governor further said that PM Modi's speech has had a calming effect. The situation is peaceful across the state. The governor said the festival of Eid will be celebrated with usual festivities.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री की जो स्पीच थी उससे बहुत एक तरह से कूलिंग इफेक्ट हुआ है और हम लोग भी सारा प्रशासन लगा हुआ है, हमारे चारों एडवाइजर लगे हैं, डोभाल साहब हैं, सब लोगों से हम आउटरीच कर रहे हैं और यही नहीं कर रहे हैं, सब जिलों में कर रहे हैं। हमारे जो सरपंच चुने गए हैं वो लोगों में आ रहे हैं और मुझे उम्मीद है कि बहुत जल्दी नॉर्मलसी रेस्टोर होगी। जहां तक ईद का ताल्लुक है, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने खुद कहा है तो ईद को हम बहुत बढ़िया तरीके, ईद से पहले थोड़ा छूट देंगे, ईद के दिन छूट देंगे और ईद को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से मनाएंगे। और मैं
And as life returns to normal in Jammu and Kashmir and people get back to life as usual, a unique moment captured on camera has gone viral on social media. The photo shared by Prasar Bharati News Service on Twitter shows a woman CRPF personnel shaking hands with a child in Kashmir. The picture has been widely shared over social media platforms. Meanwhile, Russia has backed India's decision on Jammu and Kashmir, saying that the changes in the status are within the framework of the Indian Constitution. In response to questions from the media, Russian Foreign Ministry said that the changes associated with the change in the status of the state of Jammu and Kashmir and its division into 2 union territories are carried out within the framework of the Constitution of the Republic of India. It further stated that Russia is a consistent supporter of the normalization of relations between India and Pakistan. In another shot in the arm for BJP in Uttar Pradesh, former members of parliament from Samajwadi Party Surendra Nagar and Sanjay Seth today joined the BJP. The duo joined the party in New Delhi in the presence of BJP General Secretary Bhupendra Yadav. Addressing the media, Surendra Nagar affirmed faith in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas.
प्रधानमंत्री जी के सबका साथ सबका विकास और विश्वास का जो नारा है उससे प्रेरित होकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी में शामिल हो रहा हूं।
जिस दिन 370 का बिल आ रहा था, हमारी पार्टी उसको विरोध कर रही थी। मैंने उसी दिन सुबह अपना त्यागपत्र दिया और उस बिल के लिए उसके फेवर में मैंने ये त्यागपत्र देके भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ज्वाइन करने का फैसला लिया।
The outgoing Congress president and his mother and senior party leader Sonia Gandhi have decided to keep themselves out of the selection process for the new party chief. The mother-son duo today attended the Congress Working Committee meeting and said that they will not be part of the selection process. The CWC held its meeting in New Delhi today, which saw various senior leaders taking part in it. Rahul Gandhi had quit the post of the party president in May following a debacle in Lok Sabha polls. Senior Congress leaders including Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Randeep Singh Surjewala, Mukul Vasnik and KC Venugopal attended the meeting. Earlier on Friday, Rahul Gandhi held a meeting with party state unit chiefs and leaders of Congress state legislature parties along with general secretaries and state in charges. Rahul Gandhi told them that the name of the new party chief will be announced in the next few days after wider consultations. The convocation ceremony of IIT Mumbai, one of the leading technological institutes in the country, was held today. Union Human Resources Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank was the chief guest of the convocation ceremony and conferred degrees upon the successful students. Congratulating the students on their success, the HRD minister called upon them to work for the nation and wished them well for their future endeavors.
जो इस संस्थान ने हमको दिया है, आज इस दीक्षांत समारोह के अवसर पर हम उसको प्राप्त करके उस शक्ति का अर्जन करके उसको पूरे देश और दुनिया में बिखेरने की तैयारी में आज इन क्षणों के हम साक्षी हो रहे हैं। मैं हिमालय से आया हूँ, गंगा के प्रदेश से आया हूँ और इसलिए आपको बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूँ कि आप आगे बढ़े, बहुत आगे बढ़े।
In Maharashtra, all 14 Navy teams in Kolhapur have proceeded for rescue operations at Shiroli village near Kolhapur. Additional 15 rescue teams of the Indian Navy with boats and rescue personnel are being planned for airlift from Visakhapatnam to Kolhapur. Flooding following incessant rains has affected several parts of the state, throwing normal life out of gear. Kolhapur, Sangli, Satara and surrounding areas have received very heavy rainfall in the last few days, leading to a flood-like situation. The Maharashtra government on Friday said that it had released 154 crore rupees to district collectors for disbursal of aid to flood-affected people in western region and elsewhere. Over 2 lakh people have been rescued and saved. 267 temporary camps have been set up across flood-affected areas. The situation continues to remain grim in several states following incessant downpour, throwing life out of gear. More than 250 rescue and relief teams are deployed in Kerala, Maharashtra and Karnataka to provide assistance to those stranded in flood-hit areas. Kerala continues to battle the torrential downpour lashing its shores. Death toll has risen to 28 in rain-related incidents, including flooding and landslides, with over 1 lakh people moved to relief camps. In 1,002 relief camps across the state, over 1 lakh persons have been shifted. NDRF, Army columns, SDRF, Navy and Coast Guard are taking part in rescue and rehabilitation efforts in different parts of the state. Heavy rain is continuing in Wayanad, hampering the rescue efforts. Besides Wayanad, the continuous rains have triggered multiple landslides and overflowing rivers have caused flooding in several parts of Malappuram, Kannur and Idukki in north and central Kerala. Rail, road and air transport took a hit in the state, with several trains being cancelled and the Cochin International Airport shut till 11th August due to waterlogging in almost 60% region of its operational area. The government has issued a red alert for 9 districts as rains are expected to continue till Monday. The host of Man vs. Wild and Adventure Junkie, Bear Grylls, spoke on his experience with Prime Minister Narendra Modi during Man vs. Wild special episode. Ahead of the premiere episode of Man vs. Wild with the Prime Minister, Grylls is set for him to take an iconic global leader like PM Modi on an adventure into the wild was a real privilege.
Such a privilege for me to do, and I've been a massive fan of India. Take such an iconic global leader, you know, like Prime Minister Modi on an adventure into the wild was a real privilege, you know. So I hope people really enjoy this show. Certainly you see a very different side to the Prime Minister than maybe people in India are used to.
Speaking about the experience with PM Modi on the show, Grylls said that Prime Minister in the middle of the crisis was an example of calm and cheerfulness. He said that the episode brings out a side of Prime Minister Modi like never seen before.
They were in little boats and, you know, on this river, and there was flooding, and, you know, our team that were filming there were saying, you know, everyone was really on edge, but the Prime Minister was just very calm. And I think I saw that throughout our journey. Whatever we were doing, he was actually very, very sort of at one. And that was that was cool to see, because you never know really what someone's like until you're in a crisis. But it was good to be reminded that as a world leader, Prime Minister Modi is calm in a crisis. That's a good quality.
And now news from the world of entertainment. The 66th National Film Awards have been announced. Andhadhun has won the Best Hindi Film Award. Ayushmann Khurrana has been named the Best Actor for Andhadhun and Vicky Kaushal for Uri. Kirti Suresh has won the Best Actress Award for Mahanati. Hillaro has won the Best Feature Film Award. Aditya Dhar has won the Best Director Award for Uri, and Padman has won the Best Film on Social Issues Award.
इंडियन आर्मी ने ये जंग शुरू नहीं की थी, but we will bloody hell finish it. Yes, sir. How's the Josh? Hi, sir. How's the Josh? Hi, sir.
चिंता को तलवार की नोक पे रखे वो राजपूत, रेत की नाव लेकर समंदर से शर्त लगाए वो राजपूत.
Films have a great impact on the lives of all of us, be it in any language or region, and the most prestigious awards in the world of cinema are the National Film Awards. The 66th National Film Awards were announced on Friday in the national capital.
The awards are given in about 31 categories, different categories. In the feature film category, there are 31 categories in the feature film. We received about 419 films this year. And after 45 days of screening by the jury, they arrived at the various awards.
If awards were given to Hindi films, the regional films were also not behind in getting the awards. Gujarati film Hellara was awarded the best feature film.
Regional cinema ने तो वैसे भी अब you see the last 10 years मराठी सिनेमा बंगाली और मलयालम ने तो पहले से भी अपना एक स्टैंडर्ड बना दिया. आज उसी स्टैंडर्ड पे अदर लैंग्वेजेस अगर आ रही हैं. आप यो फिल्म देखिए जो मंजू बोरा की फिल्म है इन द लैंड ऑफ पॉइजन लेडी. क्या फिल्म है, इतनी खूबसूरत फिल्म, कहानी कहने का तरीका अलग है.
Vicky Kaushal sharing the best actor with Ayushmann Khurrana, whose films Andhadhun and Badai Ho were both rewarded. Kirti Suresh won the best actress for her performance in Mahanati, that also won the best Telugu film. KGF Chapter 1 bagged 2 awards for best special effects and the best action. Jeremy won 5 awards including the best Kannada film. Uttarakhand was declared as the most film-friendly state at the 66th National Film Awards that were announced. This is the first time that this category has been added to the list of national awards.
पिछले कुछ सालों में देखें जो हमारा फिल्म फेस्टिवल होता है गोवा में, वहाँ हर राज्य जो हैं वो आके हर स्टेट अपनी एक स्टॉल लगाते हैं. वो बताते हैं कि हम लोग फिल्म मेकिंग के लिए, फिल्म शूटिंग के लिए आप हमारे यहाँ आइए, हम क्या क्या सुविधाएं देते हैं. तो मुझे लगता है ये जो एक पहल है वो राज्यों को और कंपटीशन देगी, मतलब उनको एक आपस में एक बहुत अच्छी प्रतिस्पर्धा तैयार करेगी.
Film Badai Ho won 2 awards this year. The film won Best Popular Film providing wholesome entertainment and Best Supporting Actress. Surekha Sikri bagged the Best Supporting Actress award for her portrayal of Ayushmann Khurrana's grandmother.
There's the Best Supporting Actress. After this, which is, I think a lot of you would have smiles on your faces, is Badai Ho, the Hindi film Badai Ho, with Surekha Sikri. You know, the matriarch of an Indian household, and a great modern attitude in that. She gets the award for Best Supporting Actress.
2 of the top 4 honours were bagged by blockbuster war drama Uri, The Surgical Strike. Debut filmmaker Aditya Dhar won the Best Director award, while his male lead Vicky Kaushal shared the award for Best Actor along with Ayushmann Khurrana for black comedy thriller Andhadhun. The film also got the award for Best Background Music, Best Sound Design and Best Direction.
ऑटो ने रास्ता रोका है, पीछे शौर्य राय का फोटो लगा.
Sanjay Leela Bansal's Padmavat won 3 major awards at the 66th National Film Awards. The film received Best Music Direction, Choreography and Male Playback Singer award this year. Kruti Mahesh Media and Jyoti D. Tomar for Ghumar got the Best Choreography award. Batman won the best film on social issues this year.
Not making country strong.
और बिल्डिंग से हाई जंप न मारे, नीचे से डायलॉग न मारे, हाई स्पीड में नाचे गाए ना.
Sunrise by Vibha Bakshi and The Secret Life of Frogs by Ajay and Vijay Bedi were awarded the best non-feature films. The National Film Awards tell yet again how Hindi films have once again shown sky is the limit through the great work done. With inputs from Vishal Barrister, DD India.
In some other news, over 2 million Muslim pilgrims from across the world converge in Arafat to perform the main ritual of Hajj Waquf-e Arafat today. The pilgrims will spend time in Arafat with prayers for acceptance of their pilgrimage and recitation of Quran's verses until sunset. After sunset, they will head to Muzdalifa, where they will stay until midnight, engaged in prayers after performing combined Maghrib and Isha prayers. A power cut across Britain on Friday evening left almost 1 million people without electricity as traffic lights were knocked out, trains came to a standstill and aircraft were grounded during rush hour. London, the southeast and northwest of England and Scotland were impacted, leaving hundreds of thousands of people temporarily without electricity. The Victoria Line in the city's underground system was also suspended. According to the National Grid Electricity System Operator, there had been issues with 2 power generators and the problems now have been resolved. A tornado on Friday ripped through the southern Luxembourg town of Petang and tore apart a building's roof. The tornado struck the municipalities of Bas Sharaj and Petang at around 6 p.m. A hotline has been set up for victims in need of aid as well as people living in the area who are currently out of the country. Before we conclude, a recap of the headlines. Former members of Parliament from Samajwadi Party, Surendra Nagar and Sanjay Seth joined BJP. Sanjay Seth says government's decision on Article 370 inspired him to join. Surendra Nagar affirms faith in Prime Minister's vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh to become union territories on the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on the 31st of October. Government issues notification in tribute to the Iron Man of India. In a major success in Tripura, Union Home Ministry and Tripura State Government signed a memorandum of settlement with National Liberation Front of Tripura. Agreement comes after 5 years of negotiations. Situation remains calm and peaceful in Jammu and Kashmir. Prohibitory orders under Section 144 of CRPC withdrawn from Jammu district. Schools reopen in Doda and Kathua among other places as normalcy resumes. Congress Working Committee meets in New Delhi, deliberate on the next Congress president amidst leadership crisis. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi decide to keep themselves away from selection process. Russia supports India on Jammu and Kashmir, says change in the state's status and its bifurcation is within the framework of the Indian Constitution. More than 250 rescue and relief teams deployed as flood situation remains grim in Kerala, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Over 82,000 persons moved to safety. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to visit Karnataka to review the situation. Union Home Ministry maintains a close watch over relief operations. That's it then in this edition of the Midday News. News and updates will continue on DD India and DD News.